Welcome students, welcome to my second part of my video, chapter number 6, SYJC, Indian Struggle Against Colonialism. Now in the previous part, we saw how Indians and in pockets, how they went against the Britishers, how they revolted against the Britishers. And we also saw how they pacified these revolt, or how they have suppressed the revolt that we have seen in the first part. And we have seen before the uprising of 1857 or the freedom struggle of 1857, there were several revolts, and these revolts were suppressed by the Britishers. Now, my dear students, we will see what prompted the people, or what were the factors that led to the uprising of 1857. There are several factors. There are social causes. There are religious causes. Political cause. There are several causes. Now, first, let me tell you how the spark of 1857 emerged. Now, for that, I would like you to think, if an India or if an Indian is recruited in British Army, how will they treat us? Simple. They will treat us partially because we are slaves to them. They are ruling over us. Yeah. Let me tell you the first thing. Our Indians, they were recruited in the British Army. And our Indian soldiers felt hurt because for many reasons their allowances were cut. They were compelled to move abroad to fight. Frequent humiliation, daily parade, partiality in the matter of transfer, and also promotion. Maximum what our Indians could get is of a post of a Subedar. Then, in the civil front, Lord Dalhousie, he adopted the doctrine of lapse. Now, what is this doctrine of lapse? Let me tell you. If a ruler dies without a heir to the throne, that territory will be taken by the Britishers because there is no heir to the throne. And with such policy, Dalhousie annexed Satara, Sambalpur, Udaipur, Nagpur and Jhansi to the British Empire. Not only that, the new revenue policy of the Britishers made the common farmers go bankrupt. Earlier, the land tax were paid with food grains and other commodities. Now, the farmer had to pay hard cash. Even if there is a bad harvest, there was no other go. They had to pay the tax. It was compulsory. If there was famine, if there was drought, epidemics, there was no tax was waived on the side of the farmers. They had to pay the tax. And the farmers who were in difficult situation had no other alternative that they have to sell their lands to the moneylender who was ultimately the supporter of the Britishers. Now, the lands which were acquired were brought under cultivation like cash crops like indigo by the British owners. The labor employed on their plant was exploited to the utmost. The condition was miserable. Unemployment, disbelief loomed large all over India, which made the life of the common people very difficult. Not only monetary exploitation, but also religious conversion. Britishers, they said, if you want a government job, you need to convert yourself into Christianity. You have to adopt Christianity. In 1856, Indian soldiers, they had to use long Enfield rifles, and the cartridges were made up of pig and cow fat. Pig was unholy for the Muslims, and cow was holy for the Hindus. They wanted to hurt the religious sentiments. Now, there was an incident, let me tell you. In the month of March of 1857, Mangal Pandey, he was from Barakpur Cantonment Board. He was called up by the Britisher, a British officer, and he said, Mangal Pandey, please come. Take the cartridge. Now, my dear students, he said, you know, I am a Hindu, and for me, cow is sacred. I cannot use this cartridge. But this officer, he forced Mangal Pandey to use this cartridge. He took the cartridge, he chewed it, and he aimed at the British officer, and the British officer was killed by him. What was the ultimate result? His ultimate result was nothing. It was Mangal Pandey who was hanged to death. This news started spreading all over India, especially to all the cantonment boards where the Indians were serving the Britishers. They started revolting, especially Lucknow Cantonment Board. They revolted against the Britishers. There was a cavalry unit in Meerut. They revolted against the Britishers. Thus, we could see Britishers, they were very cruel to all the Indian soldiers. They killed, and the Britishers, they were taking revenge, and they were killed, and they massacred the Indian soldiers. And how did the Indians take the revolt? They started killing the officers in turn, killing their families, and putting it on fire. On 12th May 1857, Delhi was captured and completely under the control of Indian soldiers. They handed over the reign to the good old man. It is none other than Bahadur Shah. He was appointed as a leader to lead the revolt. Bahadur Shah, he accepted the leadership, but he was just a nominal person. He was so old that it was not very easy to lead the revolt. But there were few other leaders like Nana Sahib Peshwa, Tatya Tope, Rani Lakshmibai, Maulvi Ahmadullah, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Kunwar Singh, Bhakt Khan. The uprising was so intense in Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, and some part of western Bihar. Bagh Khan took the responsibility of assuring safety of Delhi. 27 May 1857, British Army attacked Delhi. They stacked their entire strength on this purpose. Brigadier John Nicholas was killed in the battle. Ultimately, the British conquered Delhi. Sir John Lawrence, a British diplomat, and a Sikh platoon with General Hudson, one of who arrested Bahadur Shah. After the arrest, Bahadur Shah was sent to Rangoon. He died there in 1862. Prior to the capture of Delhi, there was revolt in the northwestern provinces. The revolt was widespread like a wildfire in Aligarh, Mathura, Bareilly, Azamgarh, Faizabad, Kanpur, Jhansi and Ahmedabad. The Indian soldiers at Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Multan, Sialkot in Punjab actively responded to the uprising. And my dear students, we find the uprising reached Dhaka, Chittagong, presently in Bangladesh, Bhagalpur in Bihar. In Bihar, we find the soldiers at Dinapur near Patna revolted under the leadership of Kunwar Singh, who was a landlord from West Bihar. Kunwar Singh received a good response from the places like Hazaribagh, presently in Jharkhand, and Devgarh, Sambalpur in Odisha. Nanasaheb Peshwa, he led the revolt. Under his leadership in Kanpur, General Havelock went to Kanpur to suppress this uprising. Nanasaheb Peshwa at Tatya Tope made unsuccessful attempt of keeping the hold of Kanpur. Sir Colin Campbell, the British commander-in-chief, defeated Tatya Tope and regained the control of Kanpur. In this war, Tatya Tope, Begram Hazarat Mahal, initially they were winning. The British army under the leadership of Havelock and Otteram was not very successful to being with the uprising. Then the king of Nepal, Jang Bahadur, arrived with Gurkha platoons to help the British. Maulvi Ahmadullah led the army of Indian soldiers. Colin Campbell, with the military skills and experience, conquered Lucknow. Now, Governor General Lord Canning ordered Colonel Neil to march Banaras and Allahabad. The revolting soldiers had a great backing in these cities. Colonel Neil used cannons to answer the rifles of Indian soldiers. His tactics took a cruel turn and he ruthlessly massacred, hanged many people. Hearing the news of Varanasi, the soldiers of Allahabad reacted by taking revenge on the Europeans in the city. Many Europeans were killed. When Colonel Neil came to know this, he straightaway proceeded to Allahabad and just indiscriminately killed the Indians. The British atrocities reached to its climax. Now let me tell you what happened in Jhansi. Jhansi was ruled by Rani Jhansi or Rani Lakshmi Bai, who was also known as Jhansi ki Rani. Now Jhansi, it was under the pretext that, this Jhansi will be taken over by Lord Dalhousie because she was not having a heir to the throne. She fought bravely with the Britishers. And what has happened? She challenged the authority of the Britishers. Now let me tell you, the Britishers, they took a firm step against Lakshmi Bai and they fought with Rani Lakshmi Bai, and ultimately Rani Lakshmi Bai was killed in the battle. Sardar Man Singh of Gwalior handed over Tatya Tope to the British by treachery. Tatya Tope was hanged to death. Nanasaheb Peshwa's wife, Nanasaheb Peshwa's wife of Bajirao Peshwa's the second and the nephew Rao Sahib escaped to Nepal and settled there permanently. In Maharashtra, Rangoba Bapuji Gupte attempted to organize rebellion at Satara. He was unsuccessful. His associates punished for it. Baba Sahib Bhave, the ruler of Nagrud state, joined the uprising in 1858. The British government whiffed off the plan, the revolt in Mumbai. Immediately people who were involved in the plan was blown to death by tying them to a cannon. The Beals of Khandesh also joined the revolt. Then the leader like Bhima Nayak and Khajrat Singh Nayak seized the government treasury worth 7 lakhs. The Beals and the British confronted each other at Jalgaon. At Kolhapur, Ramji Sirsat, who was awaiting for the news of the uprising in the north, took charge of the government treasury and began to organize soldiers and others under his leadership. In the response to uprising, Chima Sahib, the member of Royal House of Kolhapur, also joined and took the leadership of the rebel. The uprising was supported by the people in Kolhapur, Belgaum and Dharwad. The nationwide rage created the war of 1857. But all these revolt was ultimately, it was suppressed by the Britishers. Now, when it was suppressed, Queen Victoria of England acknowledged the sentiments of the Indian people and she published a charter that was known as Queen's Proclamation, and she said, none of the Indians will be treated partially. They will be given government jobs based on their merit. And she also promised that there will be no discrimination on the basis of race, creed, and faith. And from now on, the Britishers will not interfere in the religious matters and they will not annex any princely states. The War of 1857 has a deep impact on Indian society. Traditional and communal loyalties gradually replaced by feeling of being united as a nation and national loyalty. It was dawned on the Indian people that they cannot win in an armed combat with the British. They need a felt of innovative methods to counter British rule. Becoming aware of united Indian people during 1857, Britishers adopted a policy, and that policy was none other than divide and rule. Yes, my dear students, that's all in this video. Thank you, and I wish you all the best. Now, students, if you like this video, please do like it. If you have not subscribed it, please subscribe it. And if the people are not aware of this video, please do give this awareness. And I wish you all the best. May God bless you.